Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video I am going to talk in detail about the northern blotting technique. I already told you that the southern blotting technique is used in the identification of specific DNA, whereas coming to this northern blotting technique, it is quite similar with the southern blotting technique, but there are slight variations. Here with the help of this technique we are going to identify the specific RNA sequence. So these blotting techniques are most commonly used by a molecular biologist in the field of research, and especially we are talking about this northern blotting technique. This technique is used in the identification of a specific RNA sequence, right? And with the help of this technique it is possible to study the gene expression. Is it clear? With the help of this northern blotting technique, it is possible to study the gene expression by detecting the presence of the RNA in a sample. And this technique was developed by James Irvine, David Kemp and George Stark in the year 1977 at Stanford University. In this northern blotting technique also, the first step is to isolate the RNA, as we already discussed in case of southern blotting technique where we need to isolate the DNA. But when it comes to the northern blotting technique, here we are interested in identifying the RNA sequence, right? So we need to isolate the RNA, right? See, make sure when you isolate the RNA that the solution should be free from RNases, otherwise the RNA will degrade. You have to isolate the RNA in a pure form. So after the isolation of RNA, here you don't need any restriction enzyme digestion, right? You are going to separate the RNA based on the size with the help of agarose gel electrophoresis technique. So after you separate the RNA based on the size, you are going to transfer the RNA onto a nylon membrane, or you can also use nitrocellulose membrane, so which is a replica of a agarose gel. Whatever the banding pattern, the RNA fragments that are present on the gel will be transferred onto a nitrocellulose membrane, right? And that membrane is to be immersed in a solution containing radio labeled probes. That is nothing but the step of hybridization. So what these probes will do, they will go and hybridize with the RNA bands if they both are complementary to each other. And we already know the sequence information that is present in a probe, and we can easily make out the sequence that is present in RNA if they both base pairs with each other, that is if they both are complementary to each other, right? After the step of hybridization, what comes next? Next up is the detection. That is, you need to subject the membrane to the autoradiography, and if you observe that X-ray film, we can easily make out where the hybridization has taken place, and we can isolate particular RNA bands of our interest. So I'll explain in detail with the diagrammatic representation. In this technique of northern blotting, what you need to do is, first you need to choose a sample, right? And then you need to go for the extraction of RNA. I have already made a video on RNA extraction, please go through it. See, once you break the cell, that is, you are going to break the cell wall and the cell membrane to release the cytoplasmic contents. And you are not interested in DNA or a protein. Here you are interested in isolating the RNA, right? And once you isolate the RNA in a pure form, the next step is to go for a agarose gel electrophoresis, because you are going to separate the RNA based on the size. See, first suppose this is the gel. You can use either polyacrylamide gels or agarose gels, and these gels will have a pores, and through those pores the DNA or RNA, whatever the nucleic acid is, it will migrate through these pores under the influence of an applied electric field, and the RNA which is carrying a negative charge will move towards the positive charge, right? So once you apply the sample into these wells, for suppose you have loaded 3 different RNA samples, sample 1, sample 2 and sample 3, okay, and you got, and once you load all the 3 samples into the wells and you switch on the power, then the migration of the RNA will take place. The smaller fragments will move faster compared to the larger fragments, right? And in sample 1 you got around 4 RNA fragments, and in sample 2 you got around 3 RNA fragments, and in sample 3 you got around 2 RNA fragments. For visualization of DNA or RNA bands, what you can do is you can use ethidium bromide, which is an intercalating agent, right? Once you are done with the electrophoresis, you can also soak this gel in a buffer containing ethidium bromide, or while you cast the gel you can add ethidium bromide to the agarose solution, mix well and then pour it, right? Then you can go with the addition of the samples. After the addition of samples, you have to carry out the electrophoresis, and these fragments will be separated based on the size. So each band that represents the RNA molecule will have a different molecular weight, and based on the differences in the size, we are going to separate all the RNA fragments. Okay, and in Southern blotting we have used an alkali solution, that is sodium hydroxide solution, for the step of denaturation. But when it comes to the Northern blotting technique, we are going to use formaldehyde as a denaturing agent. So by using this formaldehyde solution, it will limit the RNA secondary structure. So for Southern blotting, this double stranded DNA is made into single stranded with the help of sodium hydroxide solution, and here the slight variation is that we are going to use formaldehyde solution that limits the RNA secondary structure. Now you have a gel, right, with a separated RNA fragments. Each band will represent the RNA molecule, and each band will have a different molecular weight. Now what you are going to do, you have to transfer this RNA fragments onto a nitrocellulose membrane or a nylon membrane, and remember here that nylon membrane will have a positive charge, which is of more convenient to use in this Northern blotting technique. And we all know that the nucleic acids, so suppose here we are talking about the RNA, right? The RNA is carrying a negative charge, and in the process of blotting, if we use a nylon membrane which carries the positive charge, these negatively charged RNA will have an affinity towards the opposite charge, that is towards the positive charge. So it will be easy for us to transfer these RNA fragments onto a nylon membrane, right? If you observe this picture, like here we are saying that we are supposed to transfer those RNA onto a nylon membrane. So look at here. So this is the nylon membrane, okay? On top of the nylon membrane we are going to place the gel that is carrying a different RNA fragments. And now when you switch on the power, so here there will be a negative charge and here there will be a positive charge. So this will be a cathode and this will be the anode, right? So the nucleic acid, that is the RNA bands which are present on the gel, will move towards the opposite charge. Here the RNA molecules which are carrying the negative charge will move towards the positive charge. That is the same principle we applied here in the technique of electrophoresis, right? In the gel also we are going to apply the electric field, and the RNA which is carrying the negative charge will move towards the positive charge. So this is the direction of migration. So here again we are going to transfer this RNA from the gel onto a nitrocellulose membrane or a nylon membrane. Here the nylon membrane which carries a positive charge will have an affinity towards the negatively charged nucleic acids. So that is the reason here there will be a negative charge over here and the positive charge over here, and the gel which is carrying the RNA bands will be transferred from the gel to the nylon membrane. So here in the step of blotting, what we are going to do, we are going to transfer the RNA from the gel onto the nylon membrane. So this we call it as a blotting step. So now this nylon membrane is a replica of the gel. So whatever the banding pattern which we see here on the gel will now present on the nylon membrane as well, as it is, okay? And what is the next step after you transfer the RNA onto the nylon membrane? What is the next step after the blotting? Next step is the hybridization step. Here we are going to use radio-labeled probes with a known sequence, and these probes will go and base pairs with the RNA if they both are complementary to each other. And as we know the sequence that is present in the probe, we can easily make out the sequence that is present in the RNA. And once we come to know the sequence for suppose AUG, GUG, for suppose we already know the sequence of a probe. Once we know the sequence that is present in a probe, we can easily make out the sequence that is present in the RNA, right? So in the sequence of RNA, you can find uracil, which is not present in the DNA. Okay, so this is the sequence that is present in the RNA that we came to know with the help of a probe. And now we can easily make out that AUG codes for methionine, GUG codes for valine. So we can easily make out the expression of the gene with the help of this northern blotting technique. So in the step of hybridization, we are going to use a radio-labeled probes, as I already told you. So they will base pair with each other if they are complementary to each other. And remember one more important point here, before you go with the hybridization step, you also need to go with the pre-hybridization step. Right? You need to immerse the membrane in a solution of pre-hybridization buffer. Why? Because to prevent the unspecific binding. Right? Unspecific binding in the sense is like, see, these probes are complementary to this RNA sequence and it will hybridize with the RNA. Right? But here we want only the specific binding of the probe but not the unspecific binding of the probe. To avoid the noise and to avoid the unspecific binding of the probe onto this membrane, we are going to treat this membrane with a pre-hybridization buffer, or we can also call it as a blocking buffer. Here in the step of pre-hybridization, we are going to use a blocking buffer. So what is the need of this blocking buffer? We only need the specific binding of the probe with the RNA sequence. So our intention is to find out that particular RNA sequence and we want to know the gene expression. But if this probe go and binds with the some other sequence, there is no use of performing this technique. To avoid such unspecific binding onto the membrane, we are going to block the membrane. So only these regions will be exposed. The rest of the membrane will be blocked to avoid or to prevent the unspecific binding of a probe. So that is very important in case of the southern blotting also. Before you go with the hybridization step, you need to go with the pre-hybridization step where you are going to treat the membrane with a blocking buffer to avoid noise and to avoid the unspecific binding of a radio-labeled probes, followed by the hybridization step. Now these probes will specifically go and bind with the sequence that is complementary to each other. So after the binding of the probes, that is after the hybridization step, what we are going to do? We are going to detect the presence of that particular RNA sequences or the particular hybridized regions with the help of autoradiography. So what we are going to do? We are going to detect the presence of that specific RNA sequence, or in process of identifying the specific hybridized regions, we are going to subject this to autoradiography. Then we are going to get an X-ray film with this hybridized regions. These highlighted regions are the hybridized regions because here the RNA sequence is complementary to the radio-labeled probe. In this way, we can identify the specific gene of interest. If it is in case of DNA, we perform a southern blotting technique, and if in case of detecting the RNA, we go with the northern blotting technique. So with the help of this technique, we can not only identify the specific RNA sequence, we can also find out the molecular weight of that particular RNA fragment, and also we can study the gene expression. This is all about the northern blotting technique. Both this southern and northern blotting technique were quite similar, that is performed to identify the nucleic acids DNA and RNA. In case of southern blotting technique, we use sodium hydroxide solution as a denaturing agent, and here in case of northern blotting we use formaldehyde. And in both the techniques we use radio labeled probes. And before we proceed with the hybridization technique, to prevent the non-specific binding of probes, we go with the pre-hybridization technique, where we are going to use a blocking buffer. And then in the step of hybridization we are going to provide the radio labeled probes that will go and hybridize with the specific nucleic acid sequence, whether it could be DNA or an RNA. And once they get hybridized with each other, we are going to detect them with the help of autoradiography. In this way we are going to find out the specific DNA or a RNA sequence with the help of this southern and northern blotting techniques. Hope you are clear with this technique, and in part 3 of this video I am going to talk about the western blotting technique. Thank you.